We're at Wildwood Park where this afternoon the Sheboygan A's host the Chicago Warriors. Hello everybody, alongside Lucas Schulze, I'm Mike Martin. We'll be bringing you today's doubleheader. Chicago it comes in. This is going to be their first game of the season, Lucas. They play in the Chicago Suburban Baseball League, which interestingly enough includes two Wisconsin State League teams, Addison and Lombard. Why don't you go through the starting lineup, batting order for the Warriors?
Starting for the Warriors, that is Joe Perona hitting first. Hitting second, Anthony Nino. The three-hole hitter is Vanny Markovic. Hitting cleanup, John Greenwood. Fifth is Enzo Vertucci. Then it's Julian Cabanon, Tim Whitaker. And then hitting eighth is Josh Manimi. And then hitting in the nine-hole is George Nabandon.
Nahabidian.
Gotta get used to that one.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. Jacob Mazza is starting for them. For your Sheboygan A's, they have Eric Schmidt starting, and doing the catching today is Connor Lash. Around the infield, we have Jimmy Jurgensen at first, Ryan Lesnick at second, Harry Stelt over at third, and Riley Palmquist is at short. Around the outfield, Calvin Kiesler in left, Gus Walker in center, and Chase Hanselman in right. Beautiful day for a ball game. You know, the one thing we failed to do our first several games, Lucas, is give a weather report. At game time, it's 56 degrees and sunny. We don't know which way the wind is blowing. Our flag out in center field is not up. We're going to have to get in touch with the city about that.
Eric Schmitz has pitched in one game so far this series, 3 innings and 6 strikeouts in those 3 innings, with just one walk.
Picked up a save. That was in relief of Jared Recklitis. First pitch is fouled straight back. The Warriors have an interesting program. They're actually a developmental organization. They have teams from, I think, U11 all the way up to this college level team. It's a ground ball to Palmquist. Stumbles a little bit but makes the play. 6-3 put out. Joe Perona Jr. leading off for the Warriors. Grounds out. Next hitter is Anthony Nino. Nino is doing the catching. Given all the rain we had the last couple of days, the field is in great shape. Kudos to the ground crew. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Our umpires are Peyton Kelling behind the plate and Paul Grauman on the bases. First time we've seen Paul here this season. Very experienced crew. And I talked to Peyton down on the field before the game, because remember I made mention about where the base umpire was with the runner on first. He was on the second base side of second and third base side of the pitcher's mound. He does belong on the other side. There's a swing and a miss. 2 quick outs for Schmitty.
Picking up right where he left off, another strikeout. Already 7 of them in just 3 2/3 innings so far this year.
Number 3 hitter, number 4, the left fielder, Vinny Marvucek.
The weird thing with this team compared to the A's is that they have so much turnover in their roster every year, while the A's, you see a lot of familiar faces with Stelt and Ryan Flesh every year.
Exactly. And in talking to Joe Perona Sr., the manager today, also the GM, he said they're very young. And I think you may have seen it on their website too. I think the average right around 20 years old. Sheboygan comes in 3-1. They had a heartbreaking loss at Kewaskum the other night. I didn't think they would have played, but CJ said they had artificial turf and they're able to get the game in. They had the lead all the way through basically until the bottom of the ninth when they lost it 8-7. So they come into today's action 3-1. On the bright side though, with the loss, it was a non-league game.
Still no league games played for the A's, all exhibitions so far this year. and 3 times against Kewaskum. 3 of the 4 games.
A pitch just off the inside corner. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Marvuchik in left field. Hangs in there, falls up on back.
Two of those 9 players today were on the roster last year, at least starting today. Perona and then 7-hole hitter Witchker was at third base today.
Witchker, wasn't he an all-star? Wasn't he a real good player?
He wasn't. He had been close. He hit over 300, but he was not an all-star.
Pitch just misses home plate, and it's ball 4. I don't know if you mentioned it's Josh Wicker, Joe Perona, Nick Laggers, and Caleb Martinez were all all-stars last year. And Martinez is on the roster. We don't know if he's here today, but he's an interesting story. Talk about his stats.
He was
in his all-star year.
He was the CSBL pitcher of most outstanding pitcher. But the funny thing is, he had a 1.53 ERA, but more walks than strikeouts. How often do you see that?
There's a looping ball out to center field. It's going to drop, or to left field. It's going to drop for a hit. And that puts runners on first and second with 2 outs, and that brings up Enzo Verducci. Verducci playing over at first base. It was all Warriors last year. They played a doubleheader, and I believe the scores were 14-7 and 13-7. They really took us to the woodshed that day.
It's kind of a weird day too. You know, mid-July is when they play each other. Normally the A's are well into their league play. Don't play many exhibition games during that time. But.
And this is only the 5th time these teams have played. They're 2-2 coming in overall. Today is also the first Meyer Family Day. All kids 14 and under receive a free general admission ticket for the game. A little late for that, maybe not, but other activities for the kids, and run the bases after the doubleheader. So bouncing ball to third, fair ball. Harry takes it and steps on third for the force out. And that's the end of a half inning of play. No score. Sheboygan coming up.
Whenever you shop Meyer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more. Whenever you shop Meyer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Back here at Wildwood Park, getting ready to start bottom of the first action. Defensively for the Warriors, they have Jacob Maza pitching, and doing the catching is Anthony Nino. Over at first base, they have Enzo Verducci. Second base, George Nahabadian. Over at third base, Tim Witchker. Playing shortstop, Julian Kabanin. Left field is Vinny Bervucek. In center field, Joe Perona Jr. And out in right, they have Josh Minami. And leading off for Sheboygan is Calvin Kiesler. He didn't. Is this his first at bat on the season?
Oh, he's hitting 1,000. Yeah,
Because we
he's
were
got
looking.
one at bat. He's hitting 1,000.
Oh, that's right, 1 for 1. Not a lot of action yet for Calvin. He bounces one to second base. And nice play made over there by Abedian. Next up is Chase Hanselman. Hanselman, Neenah kid, plays over at Ripon College. He's got a fine batting average so far this year, hitting .363.
And most of those came in those first couple of games where he was having like 3 extra base hits with the triple and the double.
Yeah, that's right. He had the big hit in that game when we were losing late against Kewaskum. Hey, we mentioned there were some kids, or at least kids on Chicago's team that go to Wisconsin colleges. Who was that?
Yeah, they got 4 of them, and one of them being Josh Wicker, who was one of their all-stars last year. He goes to Parkside. Tim Witchker, who we mentioned at third base today, goes to Oshkosh. And then Nico Smith goes to Eau Claire, and then Henry Kalmus goes to Carthage. So 4 Wisconsin players on the Chicago roster.
I got my master's degree from Oshkosh. You know what they would call Oshkosh? UW0. I can say that because I did go there. Yeah, land of the Titans. Ball is fouled back by Hanselman, makes the count 2-2. Doubleheader today, 2 7-inning games. I'll take you through game 1, and Lucas is going to take you through game 2. We got Hawaiian Queen coming up.
Yeah, Moana.
Moana. Nice. 3-2. Mazza's pitch is swung on and popped up out of play.
Mazza didn't pitch for Chicago last year. He was one of the many part of that
Many
turnover
new
in the
guys,
roster. This is the first time he's probably pitched in a Chicago uniform then, because this is the first game of their season.
They kind of look like the Green Bay Packers.
They do. The colorway.
Pitch is down low. Hanselman draws a 1-out walk, and let's see if Harry can move him along. Harry, of course, is from West Bend. He's a pointer, went to Stevens Point College, hitting .333 on the year.
And as always, being one of the top players in the RBI department and the walks department.
Yeah, he's got 4 walks on the year, which is kind of how he operates. First ball swinging, fouls that one down the right side.
See if Hanselman decides to go here, but we were looking at the catcher in between innings, and he looked like he had a pretty decent arm over there.
Right at the end of their infield, before the game started, he had his throw down to third base, the catcher did, and it was thrown pretty hard. He's got a good arm, you're right.
Sure
Oh,
enough.
right there, right on the money. Excellent throw by Nino.
It's kind of just what you're going to have to live with. You want to have runners in scoring position with the middle of your order up, especially with Harry still at the plate.
Yeah, it's got to keep that other team sharp, you know, not let them think you're not going to run just because they can throw the ball. But now we're sitting with 2 outs and nobody on, and Harry's still up. When you look out at the trees in right center field, Lucas, it doesn't look like there's a lot of wind out there today.
but you know, just walking around, you can just feel the wind.
His pitcher caught the outside corner, but Mr. Kelling didn't think so. Nobody in the press box thought it was a strike either. Pitch in the dirt, evens the count at 2-2.
It's been kind of a smaller zone for Kelling back there today. You know, you saw Hanselman's walk was kind of on the edge, a little uncertain.
So you're thinking that's a trend today, huh? Squeeze the pitcher.
I guess so.
Ball's up high. I wonder how many times a guy like Harry will influence the umpire's call when he takes a pitch, because he does have such a good eye.
You see that a lot in the major leagues, sometimes with the more experienced bats.
Mazza with his second walk of the inning. You don't expect Harry to be stealing second, but wouldn't want to do that anyway with Jimmy Jurgensen up. The plan in game one, Lucas, is for Schmitty to go 3 or 4 innings, and then Jared Recklitis to finish up. And Jimmy, good play by the second baseman to pick the ball up, but the pitcher never got over to cover, and the first baseman wasn't able to recover. That really, it's an infield hit, but what should have happened was the pitcher should have got over there to cover up.
From my angle, again, it's different when you're actually making the play. It looked like he had a chance to get him with the pitcher running. He just did, I guess, want to throw it on the run, maybe.
Yeah.
Wanted to wait till he was fully there, but.
Nick Tenney up. Nick Tenn's Ripon College. Limited action. He's hitting 143. That'll pick up as the season goes along. We may need an extra base hit to get Harry home in this situation. There are 2 outs. Swing and a miss, evens the count at 1-1.
Does have 3 walks, and that's the type of thing that we've seen a lot from these A's hitters, especially the younger guys, taking a lot of walks, him and Lesnick especially.
Had a double in his last game. Hopefully he can do that here today. Connor Lash, the catcher, is on deck. You saw Connor getting that foul ball. Jackson Tillman not here again today. He's the bat boy. Line drive out to right. That's going to drop for a hit. And good decision by Tim Moyer to stop Harry at third. And again, the pitcher was not in the right position. He should have been behind the catcher, backing up. Caught a little bit of a break when the catcher Nino was able to knock that ball down.
Yeah, you wonder what kind of play it would have been had it been a faster player on third, running home on that kind of run into each other.
Bases loaded. Connor Lash up. Connor no hits yet this year. Well, you got him 1 for 3.
I didn't do that.
Bouncing ball fouled on the right side. The new system has gone bad. Connor, a Chicago, Illinois native. Mazza delivers, swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Sheboygan has the bases loaded, but there are 2 outs.
You hope that, you know, just for the sake of the inning that Lash can get on, obviously, so that stolen base attempt doesn't end up hurting him.
Yeah, right, exactly. Called, strike 3 on the outside corner, and that ends the Sheboygan first. They threatened but couldn't score after 1 full inning, no score.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Back here at Wildwood Park, getting ready for second inning action. We had mentioned that Chicago swept the doubleheader last year. Tim, you had some stats from that from those games. What do you got for us?
It's kind of unusual for the A's to lose both games of doubleheader, especially against an exhibition team. But
Not only lose, but get whooped.
yeah. And in those two games, the Warriors add their number. It's 34 hits and 27 runs in those two games, and every single Chicago Warrior that played reached base safely at least once.
Wow. Leading off the second for Chicago is Julian Cabanin. Julian is the Warrior shortstop. He bounces one to Harry. Didn't get up on it. That's going to go as an error.
Not something you see a whole lot from Harry. He's normally pretty sure-handed third baseman.
Yeah, he's a little bit late breaking on the ball.
Like he kind of waited for that extra hop when he should have kind of charged a little more.
Yeah, exactly. Sean's in the house. Got his LA Dodger hat on.
Bryce Turner.
Yeah. He's a Major League Baseball fan.
Coast to coast. Whitaker was the other Chicago Warrior that played last year. He had over 300 last year for the Chicago Warriors, but wasn't an all-star. He was not one of the 3 all-stars, but he did have a home run and 9 RBIs. Probably wasn't an all-star because he only played in 14 games.
I thought about this after the fact, Lucas, but did you check and see what the standings were last year? How did they do in the league?
They were overall 17 and 18.
Okay, so not a lot of games. There's a throw in the dirt, scooped out by Lesnick, but the tag was late. Give Bannon a stolen base.
What's kind of weird, though, is that normally when we play these exhibition games, they normally struggle a lot against teams from the state league if they do play them. These guys are 9 and 3 overall against state league teams because Lombard and Addison are in
both
the
in
league.
there. Ball's fouled straight back out of play.
Not only did they win those games, but they scored over almost 8 runs per game in those 12 games against those teams.
That's pretty amazing. Of course, I suspect they weren't facing the kind of pitching they're going to face today. Schmidt's scheduled to go 3 or 4 in. There's a strikeout, first out of the inning. Scheduled to go 4, I believe, today or so, and then Jared Recollaitis will come in and finish up. And Brad Reinfleisch is going to start game 2, and he tends to go the distance when he starts. Hunter Rosh in the ballpark, one of our interns. He said Emma's gone today, Emma Kroll. And we still haven't seen Maddie Albanese. She's scheduled to be around next week, you said?
Sometime.
So when she arrives, is that when you guys can start your project?
Guess so. So end of June it's due. So.
That CJ,
Gotta get
man, he's a
started.
slave driver. Crying
No
out
time
loud.
to do anything else.
It's like you don't do enough the way it is. You know what they say, Lucas? Do more than is expected, and more will be expected. Not a good swing that time by Minami. Josh playing out in right field, batting eighth. 1-2 pitch. Stays up high. Tomorrow, on Sunday, the A's will host an inter-squad scrimmage at 1 p.m. This is free and open to the public. There will be no live stream. Lucas has got a date with something else, not baseball. I won't be here. CJ will not be here. Bill's not going to be here. But the Sheboygan A's are going to be here playing a scrimmage game. Was that a called strike or a swing? Called strike. You know, if I remember correctly, when Schmitty was out, you had mentioned he had six strikeouts. I think 3 of those were called strikeouts. That brings up the number 9 hitter, George Nahabedian. It's a mouthful.
It's one of those names where you have it for a couple minutes and then you don't say it for a while.
Then it's like it's right. Now, smart people would remember that, like you would, Lucas. We'll see how you do next game. Nahabedian. Ball hit hard but foul. 1-1 is the count. You have 2 outs in the second inning.
Schmidt's already with the 3 strikeouts. Only one of them called today, but you said a lot of them last game were called. So must be some kind of deception in the delivery or something that tougher hitters.
Pitch just off the outside corner. I think Schmitty wanted that one. Couldn't get it. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. George playing at second base today. Good job by Lash to frame that pitch. 2-2 pitch coming up. Breaking ball is pounded past Harry down the third base side. This will play to run for the Warriors. And in with a stand-up double is Nahabedian, and Chicago is on the board. Picked a good spot for that ball, right down the line.
Tough play for Harry there.
And that takes us back to the top of the order, Joe Perona Jr.
And this is one of their main guys. Last year, he had 336 with 15 RBIs in 31 games. One of the 3 All-Stars from Chicago last year.
Jimmy is deep at first base, pretty close to the line. It's a line drive to right. Hanselman picks it up, fires it home. And there's not going to be a play at the plate. Perona showing that hitting prowess that Lucas just mentioned, and it's another run for the Warriors. It's 2-0 now.
Yeah, Perona in that 2-game series with the A's last year in that doubleheader, he had 5 hits between the 2 games.
And that brings up Anthony Nino, the catcher. Struck out his first time. They definitely can swing the bat. They've shown that today.
209 runs in 35 games last year.
3 hits already, too. Lash's throw is a little bit late. Good jump by Perona. Second stolen base for Chicago today.
They haven't been in by a whole ton either. It's been really close from Lash both times.
Thought Lash made a pretty good transfer and throw down. We mentioned that Joe Perona's dad, who also is Joe Perona, is coaching third and is managing today. In the notes that we were able to gather about their team, Dave Revere is listed as the manager. Good stop by Lesnick and a throw to Jimmy in time. What a play. That would be A's watch list. Delivery of the game from Peabody's Pizza. Key out, saves a run. But after inning and a half, Chicago on top, 2-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family-owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the queen? Hello. Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Back here at Wildwood Park. Leading off the inning for Sheboygan will be Riley Palmquist. And then following him will be Gus Walker and Ryan Lesnick. Lesnick's play was a game, I shouldn't say a game saver, but it was definitely a run saver.
Yeah, that's for sure. Great play, backhanded sliding play. Saves at least one run, and who knows what could have happened after that.
Yeah.
People on.
The A's will open Wisconsin State League play next weekend with doubleheaders at Addison on Saturday and Sunday. Sheboygan will begin Northeastern Wisconsin League play on Tuesday of next week, June 10th, versus the Menasha Max. That's right here at Wildwood Park at 7:30. Kind of a slow start to the season. You know, we had that doubleheader, and we had to wait a bunch of days and played that single game against Howards and another bunch of days off. And again, only exhibition games so far.
Yeah, we had that 9-day break. Now we see the A's played the one-way game, but 9 days away from home. Something really unusual for the A's.
Palmquist cracked his bat. He told him, "Get me one with a hit in it." Mazza still on the mound for Chicago. Was able to work out of a bases-loaded jam in the first. Has shown to be not in very good control of throwing strikes. A lot of balls. Walked 2 in that first inning.
Nothing will compare to our last game that we did, walks-wise. Howard's Grove. 6
3 and
walks.
1 is the count. A1 in the house. Line drive, base hit out in the left field for Riley. And that brings up Gus Walker. Gus from Albuquerque, New Mexico, went to Marion College. The thing about, we talked about this prior to the game about Gus, he's looking for his first hit of the season.
It's just kind of unusual for him. Normally he's been one of the more consistent guys in the lineup. Just getting on base-wise, he's only been on base twice with 2 walks in 10 at-bats.
Bunts it down the third base side. Third base makes a barehanded pickup, but can't make the play. It's going to go as a bunt hit for Gus. And lucky that wasn't an error on the third baseman too. Was a good job by the first baseman to keep it in play and not allow Palmquist to go to third.
I mean, anytime you have to rush it when you're fielding a bunt, but you got to go with that kind of speed. It's just that much more rushing you got to do and more panic, and leads to more off-balance throws.
Ryan Lesnick up, and the manager coming out to talk to the troops, and I'm sure he's going to talk a little bit about the possibility of a bunt.
Yep.
Number 9 hitter. Yeah. I don't know. Tim doesn't bunt very often. Interesting to see how he plays this. Let me ask you this. What would you do if you were managing?
Why not bunt? Worked last time, you know, if third base is probably thinking about it right now, and why not make him think again? And worst case scenario, I mean, I guess you could pop it up, but worst case scenario, you got third and second with 1 out.
Right. I like your thinking. Tim, you better watch out.
Lesnick's another guy looking for his first hit on the year, so maybe a bunt wouldn't be the worst decision in the world. Get some confidence.
The Chicago third baseman is moving up a step or so. He's about even with the bag. Now he comes up another step at the edge of the grass. Lesnick squared the bunt, but took that first pitch for a ball. That might also put a little more pressure on the pitcher to get it in there. Ryan did not square around the bunt that time, took the pitch low. It's 2-0.
Ryan's tied for the team league in walks. Team lead in walks. But
Yeah, that one game, what did he have, like 3? Bouncing ball foul. Moyer with a great play over there at third. Ryan swinging a little late, but the count is now 2-1. See if he can advance the runners or maybe get a hit, drive one in. Good speed at second. And Gus Walker with really good speed over at first.
last thing for Chicago is that bases loaded and all 3 guys run well.
Eric Hasenstein in the house. There he goes. We'll pop up into left field. Left fielder ranging over. And making the easy catch was Marvuchik. And maybe should have bunted.
Yeah.
Chase Hanselman up next. Chase walked his first time. Calvin Kiesler, pardon me, he's leading off. Calvin from Oshkosh. Okay, where's St. Olaf College?
No idea. I hadn't heard of it until today.
First pitch is a strike.
Do you know where it is?
No, I don't. Kiesler grounded to second his first time. I could look that up though. I got this phone, it's really smart.
Right next to you.
Yeah.
One Google search away.
Where is St. Olaf College? Northfield, Minnesota. Site of a famous bank robbery.
Really?
Yeah. I think they made a movie about it actually. Foul tick at home plate.
Keeks are still rocking a 500 batting average even after the ground out in the first, though.
Yeah, we don't. We left 3 guys on base in the first. Let's not leave 2 more here in the second. Let's get some runs. Waiting on deck is Chase Hanselman. Ball is fouled straight back. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Calvin.
Middle of the order coming up behind him. You know how big it would be if he could get on base here.
Mazza comes set, delivers. Bouncing ball, slow roller out in front of home plate. I think that's going to go as a base hit. Yes, it is. Throw to third is not in time. Trying to get Palmquist sleeping, but he was Johnny on the spot. Stayed at the base. And now the bases are loaded with only 1 out and Chase Hanselman up.
Bases loaded and only one of them's left the infield. 2 infield hits so far this thing.
I'm telling you, line drives way overrated.
It's not how you hit him, it's where you hit him.
Chase walked his first time up. Pitch rides up high. Sheboygan with an excellent opportunity to get tie this game up, maybe take the lead.
Hanselman's tied for the team lead in RBIs. He could really pull away with a big hit here.
Ball's fouled at home plate. 1-1 is the count. Sheboygan behind 2-0. We're in the bottom of the second. That pitch is out of the strike zone for a ball.
Nowhere to put Chase Hanselman for Mazza. Really got to make a couple good pitches here.
2 ball, 1 strike pitch coming up. Oh, pitch is up and in, and it gets off the bat of Hanselman. Unfortunate break there. Evens the count at 2-2. Could have been ball 3.
Again, he's making Harry run for the ball, though. Imagine that.
Yeah, that happened the last game we were here, too. I remember that. 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Good fastball by Mazza. Harry's up next. Harry hitting .333. He was also one of the 2 people that drew a walk in the first inning.
Could use one of those right now. Hayes left him loaded in the first inning. Hopefully not the same as second.
Pitch in the dirt. Makes it 2-0. Mazza in trouble. See if he can work his way out of it. There's a drive out to deep center field. And on the warning track and making the catch is the right fielder, Manami, and Sheboygan again. leaves the bases loaded, just like they did back in the first after 2 complete. Chicago on top, 2-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Eric Schmidt still on the hill for Sheboygan, finishing up his warm-ups. Vinny Marvucek will be leading off the third for Chicago. They're on top, 2-0.
No, A's haven't scored yet. They've left 6 on already. A little tough start for them.
really.
Getting guys on base, but can't hit with runner in scoring position so far.
You know, we talk about how walks can hurt you as a pitcher. Getting a lot of people left on base hurts you in the hitting department.
And 2 in the second inning for the Warriors, it was Schmidt's retired 2 of the first 3, and the one he didn't was an error.
Yep. Those 2 runs that Chicago scored are unearned, like Lucas mentioned. So that part's good, but they still count. Schmidt's first pitch is up high. We're in the 3rd inning of a 7-inning game, and I know Emma and I last year talked about it frequently. And when you're playing these 7-inning games, you know, you're halfway through already, and you're down 2. You don't have that many innings to work with to try and come back. And Sheboygan has squandered great opportunities in innings 1 and 2.
And you mentioned earlier, the Chicago offense is no joke either. They got 3 hits already.
Yeah. And the number 9 hitter with the only extra base hit.
Nahabedian.
That swing and a miss makes the count 3-2. Vinny walked his first time up. And he draws a walk and to lead off the 3rd. John Greenwood is up. John is the DH.
One of those 3 hits had a single in the first inning.
We could easily be looking at a 3-0 deficit instead of 2. Ryan Lesnick made the defensive play of the game so far, ranging far to his left and sliding and picking the ball up and making a nice throw to Jimmy over at first for that 3rd out. If that gets through, it's another run.
Yeah, once it gets to 3, you know, you need multiple guys on base and everything to get that time run to the plate. So 2, there's close numbers, but big difference.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Greenwood not happy with himself there. It looked like a ball, but he swung at it. Enzo Verducci is up. Enzo hit into a fielder's choice to end the first. Vucic is not strayed far off the bag over at first. You gotta wonder when Coach Perona will send him.
Already 2 stolen bases for Chicago today.
Pitch goes off the glove of Lash, and runner will move up on the pass ball. You mentioned that the first home league game for the A's is June 10th. That's a Wisconsin, pardon me, a Northeastern Wisconsin League game. It's against Menasha. But our next broadcast will be on Wednesday, June 4th, when the Sussex Cardinals come to town for a exhibition game. That, of course, will be a 7:30 start.
Remember that Sussex game last year, Marty?
I do not.
That like 13-inning game.
Was it the 4-hour game?
Yeah.
4 hours and 11 minutes. A pitch stays high and inside. Count is 2-2. Maybe CJ isn't such a slave driver after all, because I know he sent you guys, said the interns could go home, but I think you hung in there till the end. Call, strike three. Beautiful pitch by Schmitty.
A little bit different with me. I mean, Emma lived in Milwaukee, and I lived about 5 minutes away.
Yeah, Emma had to drive all the way back to Milwaukee. Now, Emma Loading, our broadcast intern last year, said she would stop back at some point during the summer, so we're hoping she lives up to that declaration. Love to see her. And Emma Crowell, our intern this year, is good friends with Emma Loading.
Makes it more of a incentive for her to come back.
Exactly, right. I mean, who wants to come back and see me? Breaking pitches inside, evens count at 1-1. There are 2 outs, but the Warriors have a runner in scoring position.
Now 5 more strikeouts so far in 2 2/3 innings for Schmitz. He's already got 11 of them. He's haven't even pitched 6 innings yet.
There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that ends the Cardinal third. When we come back for Sheboygan, they'll have Jurgensen, Tenney, and Lash.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Welcome back to Wildwood Park for the bottom of the 3rd inning. And before Jimmy Jurgensen leads it off, we have our trivia question for today. Today the question is, Ron Herr reached AA in the minors for which MLB organization?
Ron, that's actually pronounced Hare, but Ron Hare is a Sheboygan A's Hall of Famer. He's a really great pitcher.
Try to remember to give you the question sometime next time.
By the way, you weren't wrong when you said Her, because some people do pronounce it that way.
I know a couple people with last name of Herr.
Are we planning on giving the answer before the end of the game?
We'll try.
I think we missed an inning or so the last question we had. Seemed like a month ago we did a game. Jimmy swinging at that first pitch, pops it up down the left field side, but it's out of play. Jimmy singled his first time, hit that little chopper to the first baseman. Nobody got over in time to cover the bag. Hey, Tom Retzak is in the house. Tom, longtime umpire. We worked many games together here. He's a real good bowler, too, back in the day.
You a big bowling guy?
He was, yeah. I remember we did a game, we're out in the parking lot. He knew this the night of the game. It was bowling night. So all his friends are going to be there. So I get to the game, he's there, and he says, Marty, you're doing the plate. You're doing the plate. I'm not getting behind there. You don't want to take heat from all his friends. What friends are those, though? They're going to give you a hard time. Jimmy takes that pitch for a ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jimmy from Jackson, Wisconsin. Takes that one for a call. Strike 3. Nice pitch by Mazza. Caught Jimmy looking. That brings up Nick Tenney. Tenney singled his first time. Was one of the 2 guys that got the infield hits. Or was that Palmquist and Walker were the ones?
3 infield hits so far out of the 4 hits.
Yeah, we've got our hits, we just don't have our runs.
5 hits, 5 singles.
There's a line drive hit to left field. Tenney, 2 for 2. Tenney now 3 for 9 on the year. Connor Lash is up. We mentioned Connor is from Chicago. He goes to Concordia, Wisconsin.
Along with Jimmy.
Big swing and a miss by Lash. He's 0 for 2, 0 for 3 on the season. Went down on a called strike back in the first to end the inning. Good eye there by Connor. Makes the count 2-1. Chicago on top 2-0. They scored 200 runs in the top of the second. There's a drive out to deep left field, way back there. Left fielder makes the play. Marvucek, a nice running catch, had to navigate his center fielder running by him, but hung in there and made a nice catch. Ball was hit a long ways, but was able to get over there.
Defense so far for Chicago's been pretty sound, no real mistakes, and they've made, other than the bunt, but I mean, not much he could have really done with that.
Exactly. Riley Palmquist is up next. Steal attempt, and that's way ahead of the sliding Tenney. Another throw out by Nino. And Sheboygan's been thrown out on the bases twice. That ends the second. After 3 complete, Chicago on top, 2-0.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Lucas Schulze with his first mistake of the season, fans. But we won't fire him. The answer to that trivia question. Let me read the question, you give him the answer. Ron Hare reached AA in the minor leagues for which MLB organization?
Milwaukee Braves. Hometown.
Yeah. Ron, a Sheboygan guy, played with the A's after his professional career. Tim Witchker is going to be leading off for Chicago in the 4th. He was a strikeout victim in the 2nd. Oh, we got to put a check mark by that. We may or may not do a question in the game too. Depends if we remember.
That's the most important part. Witchker, one of those 6 strikeouts from Schmitz his first time up, and he's got 12 strikeouts now through 6 innings pitched so far this season.
And again, pretty high rate of called strikeouts. He has two of those, two of the 6. And I think he was 3 out of 6 in the last outing. So out of 12, 5 of them were called. That's a lot. High percentage. Pitch in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ball is hit hard to right center field, but Walker makes it look easy out there. Gus was defensive MVP last year. I believe that was his 2nd year in a row. He's a fine center fielder. Minami is up next. He's the right fielder. Josh had a nice catch a couple innings ago on the warning track. I think Harry hit that long fly ball to end the 2nd inning when we had the bases loaded. Slow roller to Jimmy. He's got it. 3 unassisted.
6 left on for the A's through 3 innings, but 8 runners have reached base.
They're getting the man on, that's for sure. He's got to get that key hit. George. Nahabedian. George Nahabedian had a double right down the first third base side. Drove in the first run for Chicago. He's 1 for 1. And the number 9 hitter.
Only extra base hit, like you mentioned earlier.
In the game. We're not sure what the pitch count is for Eric Schmitz. I think the plan was for him to go at least 4. And if that is the case and the pitch count is getting up there, this may be it.
If it does end that way, he's pitched very well, other than little trouble in the second inning, but both, as we mentioned, unearned.
And he should have been out of the inning. He got the first two hitters, the next guy reached on there. In the bottom of the fourth for Sheboygan, they'll have the bottom third of the order. Fly ball out to right. Hanselman near the fence, makes the catch and flips over the fence, but hangs on to the ball. Great play by Chase. Very acrobatic. And that ends the fourth inning for Chicago. After 3.5, Warriors still lead it.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Gavin Addison on the hill for the Warriors. Gavin, a big left-hander. Addison plays for McAllister College. He's a freshman. And we had mentioned earlier in the broadcast about how young Chicago is. Not that I counted them all up, but when I look up the list at the Chicago roster, lots of freshmen. Several juniors on that first page, but they don't begin to compare with the number of freshmen on the team. See how Addison does. Mazza had a pretty good outing, went 3 innings, did not allow any runs. Did walk a couple, but was able to work through that.
Got himself into his fair share of trouble for the first 2 innings.
Had 3 strikeouts. So the line for Jacob Mazza, 3 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. I don't think he would be in line for the win, because I think in a 7-inning game, you have to go at least 4 innings. See what Addison can do.
Bottom of the order has really gotten it done so far today for the A's. They both have 7-8. Walker and Palmquist both have a hit, both infield hits, but hits hit.
Yeah, that's right. I've been thinking about Gus a little bit. The couple of games that we've seen him play, there's a pop-up on the infield, and making the catch was Mahabian. And seems like the times that Gus has gotten on base, there's always been a runner in front of him. So he's not able to steal any bases, and that's one of his strengths, along with his defense.
I mean, last year he was almost getting a stolen base per game, and he's yet to get one.
Right. Yeah.
It's game 5 now.
First pitch to Gus is on the inside corner for a strike.
It doesn't help that obviously he hasn't been on base as often so far this season, but.
Well, he got that infield hit in the second, but Palmquist got his infield hit just ahead of him, so no chance to steal a base with the runner in front of you. Slow roller to the mound. Addison misplayed it, but was able to pick it up and throw Walker out at first. A couple of quick outs in the 4th inning for Sheboygan. That brings up Ryan Lesnick. Lesnick from Pleasant Prairie. And we don't know where Triton College is, do we?
Just where, I know he goes there. I
Yep.
don't know where it is.
All right. Let's see. Where is Triton College? River Grove, Illinois. Suburb of Chicago.
I wonder if he ever played on maybe the younger Warriors teams. Possible.
Ah,
I don't know.
I don't think this organization, the Chicago Warriors development system, is been in existence for a real long time.
Verona found it in 2015, so he could have
So that 10 years, that's pretty long. Yeah, he definitely could have then. I didn't think it was that old, but a pitch in the dirt makes the count 2-1. Sheboygan looking for a 2-out rally. I wonder if Gavin Addison's family is Cub fans. I've had kids in class where like Addison and then their last name, and the parents were Cub fans, and that's why they named the child Addison. There's a 2-out walk. Back to the top of the order.
Another one for Lesnick.
He is a team leader in that department now, right?
Yeah. Well, he's tied with Harry because Harry had one also.
Okay. All right. Kiesler up. Kiesler proudly wearing number 9. That was my number in Legion baseball.
What number did you wear with the A's?
25. Do we have a 25 this year?
Should be retired.
Oh, Jackson Neelitz. You haven't seen him yet this year. So pop-up hit into short center field, drops for a hit. And Kiesler with his second hit of the ball game.
Want to know something about Kiesler?
Yes.
Hitting 750 so far in the year.
Wow. Don't quit while you're ahead. Chase Renselman is up. Chase was the Rookie of the Year last year. The Sheboygan A's, nice to have him back. Chase is 0 for 1 with a walk. See if he can come up with a big hit.
Another chance for the A's with runners in scoring position. See if they can come through this time.
Addison had a pretty good go of it with the first 2 hitters. Didn't have to expend a lot of energy for those first 2 outs, but Sheboygan has made him work. The next 2. Let's see if Ansel can be the 3rd hitter. Check swing, but it's in there for a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Chase is going to have to work hard. Came into the ball game hitting 363. Ball is pop foul out of play. Chicago brought a pretty nice group of people to watch the game. Of course, when you think about it, a lot of young guys, still living at home, parents involved. That's a nice thing to see. Addison comes set at the belt. 0-2 pitch coming up. Ball is pitches outside for a ball. Nino looking to throw down. Getting a big lead off a second was Lesnick, but nobody covered the base. Sheboygan again threatening. They've gotten at least one runner on base every inning. The first and the second, they loaded the bases without scoring, and now they've got two on this inning. See if they can get on the board. Someone hammers it foul down the left side.
6 left on through 3 innings already for the A's.
Too much. Only 3 hits for the Warriors.
7 for the A's.
Swing and a miss. Good pitch by Addison. Gets Hanselman and Sheboygan. Again, not able to cash in with runners on base after 4 complete. The Warriors still lead it 2-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Eric Schmidt's still on the hill for Sheboygan, so he'll be pitching the 5th inning. And he has the top of the order to face Joe Perona. Joe is 1 for 2 with a single and an RBI and a stolen base.
Joe's the type of guy you want to face without anyone on base. That's what the A's weren't able to do in the 2nd inning. He made him pay for it.
Infield is deep. Lesnick shading up the middle. There's a big gap between Ryan and Jimmy Jurgensen at first. Perona can get the ball there. Could have himself a hit. Pitch is just outside, makes the count 2-0. Schmidt does have 2 walks in the game. So slow roller. Jimmy has it. Steps on the bag. And are they ruling it a foul ball?
Looks like it.
Yep, it is a foul ball. Joe Perona, either that or Joe Perona's up for an Academy Award.
A really good acting job. Still going with it.
Good job of umpiring. Peyton Kelling not making the call, but looking down at Grauman, seeing what he saw. And, that's good. Good piece of umpiring. Peyton Kelling, a Sheboygan Falls kid. Grauman from Sheboygan, went to South High. Was a quarterback. In high school. Yeah. At least that's a story he told me. Liner up the middle. Lesnick with a good play and just in time. And just enough arm to throw out the speedy Perona.
I was reading a little bit about Perona, as you were saying, and I did see he did play football. I guess I didn't look at what position he played, but he played in the minor leagues. He was an 8th round draft pick
That's
of
his
the
dad.
Tigers. Oh, I thought you were talking about his dad.
Oh, no.
His dad played football too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was talking about Paul Grauman, the umpire.
I thought you were talking about Joe Perona.
Oh.
Geez, I'm lost here.
Yeah. We got it all together up here, CJ. Nothing to worry about. As usual. You know, we could have something to say and you still wouldn't listen. There's a ball hit to deep left field, but it's going to be foul and out of play. All right. Lucas, I think, the play that Hanselman made where he caught it in foul territory and flipped over the fence was obviously a very nice play. But I think the more critical play of the game was Lesnick's play at second base.
Now, if Hansen would have made that play in that situation, then maybe it'd be a different situation.
Right. But, you know, CJ sleeping on the wheel over there didn't quite catch that. He wasn't listening to us about the importance of the play. So Lesnick winds up getting penalized.
I would have given Lesnick the Peabody's Pizza delivery.
We did actually over here, didn't we?
Yeah,
we did. Once we figured out that cheat. No balls and 2 strikes. Pitch is in the dirt. Anthony Nino up. Nino 0 for 2. He was the victim of that great play by Ryan Lesnick back in the second inning.
Played a heck of a catcher, though.
Yeah, 2 throwouts. He's been valuable. A little spinner at home plate. Foul.
Look for a chance there. If it would have maybe gone in the dirt earlier, it could have rolled back there.
Hey, how did your team do in the opening of the state tournament for baseball? Did you play that night?
We were up 1-0 in the 5th inning. Then the wheels kind of fell off the bus.
Okay, so you're out of the tournament
Yeah,
play
we're
now.
out of the tournament.
Okay. Did you hear how North or South did?
I don't know.
What about Kohler Christian?
The only one I know is us. If we would have won, maybe I would have cared a little more and looked at other teams.
Right. Oh, I get it. I did notice in the paper that between the 4 schools, none of them were rated, I think 10 or better. They're all real low, which is unfortunate. Pitches outside, evens the count now, 2-2. Beautiful day at the ballpark. We got another game coming up. Not too late to get out here. Have some brats, hamburgers, hot dogs, popcorn. Ball is popped up behind home plate. And making the nice play is Connor Lash. Foul pop-up. 2 outs now in the 5th inning. And Vinny Marvucek, who's walked twice today, is up. Vinny made a nice play in left field in the 2nd. Actually, he made the nicer one was in the 3rd when he had to navigate around his center fielder, but ranged way over to his left and made the catch near that Kunis RV sign, the adventure one. It's right by the 350 mark.
Yeah, right there.
Ball's hit out into left field. And going back as Kiesler makes an easy play. And that's it in the 5th inning for Chicago. When we come back, it'll be Stelt, Jurgensen, and Tenney for Sheboygan.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me smells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the queen? Hello. Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Harry Stout walking up the home plate, getting ready to lead off the 5th inning. Harry is 0 for 1. Hit the ball hard as last time, back in the 2nd with the bases loaded and 2 outs, but Perona made a great play on it and made the catch. Gavin Addison still on the hill for Chicago. Worked out of a jam in the 4th.
Yeah, it looked like he was kind of had everything going for him. 2 quick outs and then really kind of lost it.
Bouncing ball to short, making a one-handed pickup and the throw across was Cabanin. Good play by him. Jimmy's up. Jimmy's got an interesting history with college anyway. He started actually at Grand Canyon University in Arizona. It's a Division I baseball program. And then he went to another college. Not sure if it was in Iowa, maybe. Concordia, Nebraska, and then I think, didn't he finish up at Concordia, Wisconsin? So you just can't have enough Concordias. Ball is inside, clipped Jimmy on the shoulder. Tough way to get on, but being down 2-0 anyway. Get on, we'll take it.
Now comes Nick Tenney, who's been on base twice with 2 base hits.
Yeah. Sawyer Kolakowski coming out to a pinch run for Jimmy. Sawyer went to Ozaki High School.
Wonder if you're going to see some changes defensively then for the A's in the 6th.
Probably. Was it that doubleheader when Sawyer pitched in one of the games and then played short in the next game? Interesting combination. Maybe Sawyer can play first base.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, Bill trying to figure out all the possibilities. Ah, there's an interesting combination. Bill says Sawyer to 3rd and Harry to 1st, which seems pretty reasonable. We don't often agree with Bill, but on that one we will.
Put Harry at short.
Let's put Harry at 1st. He's a crusader. All fouled straight back. Connor Lash hustling out there to get that foul ball. Lucas mentioned Nick is 2 for 2 in the ball game. Swing and a miss. Throwdown is not in time. Nino likes to throw. He's got a good arm. Be careful on the bases with him behind home plate.
And we haven't seen much inaccuracy from him, but I think if it was perfect throw, he probably had a good chance of getting it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice pickup by Verducci, the first baseman. Not let it go into right field or down the right field line. Brings up Connor Lash. Connor is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Flew out to left his last time up. Sheboygan down 2-0 after 2 are out for Chicago in the second. The next hitter reached on an error, or pardon me, the first batter reached on an error, then there were 2 outs. And nice jump that time by Kolakowski, and he easily swiped second base.
Great jump. I mean, that's what you need if you're going to get past Nino back there. He's been lights out behind plate.
So back to my analysis of that second inning of runner reached on to lead off the inning. Then Schmitty was able to get the next 2, but after that, Chicago came up with a couple of clutch hits to score 2 runs. And Kolakowski on the move again, steals third. I think they caught Nino a little bit by surprise on that last stolen base, and it was in the dirt besides, so it made it even tougher. 2-2 pitch, man on third. Lash trying to play to run with a hit. Pitch is low. 3-1. Isn't that what I said? Oh. I could have swore I said 3-1.
Maybe I heard you wrong.
I don't think so. 3-1. A breaking pitch just inside. And that's ball 4. Palmquist is up.
Another opportunity for this A's offense to put something on the board.
Even though it looks like a 3-up, 3-down inning in the third for Sheboygan, they did get a runner on, and they've had runners on in every inning. We got another runner coming out. Blaine Bradford in.
I don't know what to do with that then. I don't think Bradford's much of a catcher. So. Let's see what they do defensively.
I believe Cal Casper is here, so he might come in. Neil Diamond played up here in the press box for, this is his first game for Blaine Bradford. He did play last year. And of course you don't have a ticket on him, huh?
Got one on Cal though. Cal comes in. And I got one on Sawyer.
Sawyer Kolakowski. Fredonia. Palmquist up. 2 outs. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Pitch down low, good stop by Nino. You mentioned his last at bat that he's been good defensive player for the Warriors today, Anthony Nino. Sheboygan with runners on first and third. 2 outs. Another pitch out of the strike zone.
It's kind of a tough position. You know, you got 2 outs. They haven't hit well with runners in scoring position. But you want to put that tie and run in scoring position if you can at all costs. But Nino behind the plate, I'm sure he would throw down in second.
I do too, especially with a 2-run lead. 1 run, you still have the lead. And if I was Tim, I'd be playing a little conservative. So pitch right down Main Street for a strike. The one thing about Addison is he does take a long time delivering to the plate, but it's hard to read his leg if he's going to go to first or not. By the time he commits to home plate, it's too late to get a good lead or a good jump. Another pitch in the dirt. And that was a smart time for Bradford to go. He advances to second on the wild pitch.
That's why you put those pitch runners in the ball game with that kind of speed. You know, third and second on a hit by pitch and a walk.
Hit here could tie up the ball game. 3-1, is that right?
That is right.
Palmquist looking to get a hit. Drills one to left center field. That's way back there. But too high. Perona runs it down. It looked like extra bases off the bat, but Perona made it look very easy. And again, Sheboygan strands 2 more runners on base. After 5 complete, Chicago is still on top, 2-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Brad Reinfleisch on the mound now for Sheboygan. Eric Schmitz went 5 innings, gave up 2 walks, struck out 6. Nice outing for Eric. But if his team can't get any runs, he's in line to pick up the loss.
Yeah, how unfortunate would that be without even giving up an earned run?
Yeah. A couple of defensive changes. Sawyer Kolakowski stays in the game and goes to third. Moving over to first base was Harry Stelt. Now catching for Sheboygan is Ty Witek. Witek coming in for Blaine Bradford, who pinch ran. John Greenwood leading off the 6th for Chicago. Brad is 7 innings pitched, has 10 strikeouts, a 1.29 ERA, 1-0 on the season.
I mean, last year you had a 1.4 ERA and hit over 300.
He's a baseball player, that's for sure.
Entering year 7 now with the A's.
Brad was the most valuable pitcher last year. Pitch right down Main Street. John Greenwood takes it for a called strike 3. Seventh strikeout by the Warriors today. Ends over Tucci. Up. Enzo, the Chicago first baseman. Proudly wears number 15. Ball hit down the right side, but Hanselman not even able to reach that one. It just goes foul. Speaking of numbers, that was my number when I played with Howard Grove. Number 15. Yeah. None of those numbers are retired.
The A's one should be. Get yourself a banner in left center. For retired numbers 25.
Who are some famous 25s in sports? Anybody? Famous 25s in sports? Was he 25?
He's 24.
Swing and a miss by Greenwood. He's down on strikes. Tom Brown for the Packers back in the day, wasn't he number 25?
You're in a league of your own, Marty. It's famous because of you.
Julian Cabanin is up. Julian is 0 for 2. Reached on an error in that two-run second. And wound up scoring. Isn't it Julian Lennon? He spelled it the same way? Big swing and a miss. You know, we think about, we got Schmitty and Reinfleisch and Recklitis going in, and we got it made. All of a sudden, the offense goes south. Call, strike 3. Struck out the side here in the 6th. Now it's time for Sheboygan to get some runs.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Back here at Wildwood Baseball Park, Sheboygan looking to score 3 runs in the 6th and then shut them down in the 7th, and we go home a winner. Right now, however, we got a tall task trying to get 3 runs off of these guys. It'll be Walker, Lesnick, and Kiesler First three up for Sheboygan.
The issue has not been getting people on base. It's not like they've been just shut down completely. It's just
No, I was just looking at this. Keesler's been up 3 times, Walker twice, Lesnick twice. That's 7 at bats, and those guys have gotten on base 4 times. Getting the runners on has not been the problem. Addison's first pitch is in the dirt, ball 1.
Seal Gussiana's the lefty-lefty matchup with Addison.
We don't have breakdowns of like Gus versus lefty versus righty, but you would think traditionally the left-handed pitcher would have the advantage.
Yeah, most definitely, especially when it gets to the breaking stuff also with that delivery.
Right. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Whichger, the third baseman, is deep at third. If probably with 2 strikes, Gus won't be trying to bunt, but might have been something to look at earlier in the count.
Something I've noticed with Gus, especially today, it feels like he's got a lot more bat waggle. You know, before that, I don't know, maybe he's always had that, but it looks more pronounced than before.
2-2 pitch coming up. And Addison reared back, fired the fastball that time, but Gus was able to foul it off. Tim Moyer coaching at third. Kenny Nazy over at first. His son Jacob, not here today. Just, not for game 1. Breaking ball is pounded foul. Gus doing his best to hang in there. Breaking pitch, this one popped up in foul territory. Racing over is the third baseman, Wilchger, but not able to make the play.
3 of the 5 innings so far, the A's have gotten their leadoff runner on. Still nothing to show for it, but be huge to start off the 6th inning. You know, bottom of the order, moving their way toward the top. Get Gus Walker on with his speed.
Gavin Addison, if Chicago keeps the lead, would be in line to get the win. Pitch is up high. Makes it a 3-2 count. The score stays the way it is. Of course, Eric Schmitz would be the loser. Breaking pitch by Addison gets Gus. Swing and a miss. Ryan Lesnick is up.
Lesnick tied team lead in walks, and last time up in the 4th with Harry.
Ryan played baseball at Triton College. Makes that first pitch down low for a ball.
Still looking for that first hit though on the air. A nice time for it here.
Another pitch down low for a ball.
You had mentioned Whichker when Gus was up, and now with Lesnick up, he's playing almost on the grass, almost expecting the bunt.
Right, and I didn't notice it when Gus was up, but he may have been up there before Gus got 2 strikes. You know, looking for that. Pretty nice crowd for a Sunday afternoon exhibition game. And we had mentioned earlier that Chicago brought quite a few fans. Saturday. The scrimmage, guys, is on Sunday.
That's what
And a walk.
Another one.
Now I think Lesnick takes over the team lead, right?
6 of them now.
Oh. Saturday doubleheader. Kelvin Kiesler up. Kelvin with a couple of hits. Pitches outside for a ball. If there's been one chink in the armor for Chicago, it's been control. Sheboygan has drawn 5 walks today and had another batter reach on a hit by pitch. Good stop by Nino. Hanselman waiting to get his turn at the plate.
Keeser's had a good day at the plate. 2 singles for him today. Mays, all 7 hits that they have today, all singles.
I was so sure that Palmquist's drive to a left center field was going to be a hit, and center fielder Perona made it look easy. That would have been extra bases.
Tied the game up for sure.
2 balls and 1 strike. Sheboygan trying to rally in this 6th inning. They have a man on again. Runners on every inning for Sheboygan. They've stranded 10 so far. Line drive to third baseman, takes a bad hop off the shoulder of Wiltshire. It's going to be an infield hit for Kiesler. And hopefully the third baseman for Chicago is okay, Tim Witchger.
3-hit day now for Kiesler.
Hanselman having a bit of a tough day. Did walk his first time up, but he's gone down swinging in the last 2. And one of those was against Addison. Sheboygan threatening. First pitch is in for a strike.
Hanselman, like we've talked about many a times, he's been the guy when the A's have needed an extra base hit. He's been the guy.
Lesnick was on the move on that hit by Kiesler. I wonder if that threw off the third baseman at all. I think it was mostly the bad hop. That pitch is out of the strike zone, evens the count at 1-1. Harry Stelt waiting on deck. We've had some nice comebacks already this year. Hanselman being one of the main instigators. And a pickoff. Why are we stealing third base? Good job by Addison. Steps off and throws to third to get the force. And Kiesler remains at first.
That's a tough break. You have the go-ahead run at the plate. Really good hitter for Sheboygan. Is that a great start to the year?
Now we have a runner only on first with 2 outs.
I'd understand it more if there was 1 out and trying to get maybe a guy with there less than 2 outs, but with 2 outs, second and first isn't a whole lot different than third and first with the type of speed that Lesnick has.
That's only 1 run. I mean, he's not the only guy. We got to get 2 in. Not saying his run isn't important, but not to take that kind of a risk. I mean, even if you make it at third base, let's say he steals third, it's still not a good play, really. Oh well, he's going to have to do it with 2 outs and 1 on. Got a couple of good hitters up in Hanselman and then Stelt waiting on deck. Ball is fouled down the right field side, out of play.
Maybe you want to make the left on base number look a little bit better.
Not that way. Let's get a home run. Clear the bases that way. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Chase Hanselman, trying to keep the inning alive. And a good throw down, not in time, but making Kiesler aware. Addison comes set at the belt, delivers. Breaking pitch is just fouled off. Addison Russell, you remember that name?
I do remember that name.
Shortstop for the Cubs.
All-star. He always be that guy hit 9th, have a pitcher hit ahead of him.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Still an all-star, though.
Not Bill Russell for the Dodgers.
Russell.
Addison Russell for the Cubs.
27.
Right.
World Series champion.
Another ball hit foul.
Long battle now for Hanselman. He's been at a full count for a couple pitches now.
Addison has liked the curveball in this situation. He threw it the last pitch. Let's see what happens here. 3-2 pitch. Fastball. Got Hanselman. That's the 3rd time for Chase. Going down on strikes. After 6 complete, Chicago still on top, 2-0.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
We're back at Wildwood Park, getting ready to start the 7th inning. Denny Moyer is down below, reading off the numbers for the 50-50 winner. CJ, you know how much he's given away? Ryan Fleisch still on the mound for Sheboygan.
He's got the bottom of the order.
Yeah.
Struck out the side last time up.
$126 in the kitty for the 50-50 winner. Tim Witcher's going to lead it off for the Warriors. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Brad throws a fastball right down the middle, and Witcher fouls it just out of play off the Chicago dugout roof. Better late than never, Bill. We should have a microphone down there by Whitek and the umpire. Whitek be saying, "I was in your last half inning." Better late than never, like I said. Pitches in for a strike, makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, right. I heard that when all 3 components of this press box goes a game without an error or a mistake, that's when we start getting paid. Breaking pitch stays up high. Waiting on deck is Josh Minami. Breaking pitch stays up high. It's a leadoff walk.
Nothing hit in play yet on Brad.
No.
4 batters.
You know, we often talk about the number of walks he gives up, but because he's such a dominant pitcher, you know, he can get away with it.
But even him, when it comes to that strikeout to walk ratio, he's well more strikeouts than walks.
Right. Should pull out some of those sheets from past years. You know, see if it's double the rate. Like this year, that was his 5th walk versus 13 strikeouts, and that's only in 8+ innings. Another pitch in there for a strike. Minami's 0 for 2. He was called out on strikes back in the 2nd and grounded to Jimmy unassisted in the 4th. Called strike 3.
That walk from Witchker was the first base runner for Chicago since the first batter in the 3rd inning. They haven't had a hit since that 2nd inning. But yet they still lead.
George Nahabedian is up. Actually, take that back. Pinch hitter in for George. It's number 24, Dylan Dulles. Dylan goes to one of my favorite universities, Loyola Ramblers.
2018. Sister
They won it back in '63. You can watch it on YouTube.
Made the Final Four just recently, too.
Not too long ago, yeah. Sister Jean was right along on the ride. The head coach at that time played at Creighton University with a former student of mine, Todd Eisner from Chilton, who is now the head coach at Winona State.
Oh, that's where Cal Casper goes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I knew that. I told you that.
I know, I'm just saying. I'm just adding to the conversation.
Trying to cross me up here, man.
I'll add it to the conversation.
I got enough trouble with this. It is. I don't need to be tested, man. Call, strike 3. Dulles had a good look at it. Unfortunately, he didn't swing at it.
5 of them.
Joe Perona up, or as Bill likes to call him, Joseph. And he's a junior. His dad is the senior. Little bunt down the third base side. And good play by Ryan Fleisch not to try and throw him out. Good bunt by Joe. He's got his 2nd hit of the game. With 2 outs, it's going to bring up Anthony Nino, the catcher. Nino got robbed of a hit in the 2nd. For the game, he's 0 for 3. in the bottom of the seventh, Sheboygan will have their 3, 4, and 5 hitters up. It's not the same players as started the game. It'll be Harry, Sawyer Kolakowski, and Nick Tenney.
Tenney's got 2 hits today too. Another one of those.
Right, exactly.
Multi-hit days.
Pitch just a little bit outside. Evens the count at 1-1. Witchger's on at second. Corona's on at first. There are 2 outs. Brad looking to strike out the side again. In the 5 outs that have been recorded since he came on to pitch, they're all strikeouts.
Nothing left the infield either, just that little bunt single by Perona.
And we're still down 2-0. 3-1. Marvuchik waiting on deck. Big swing and a miss. Good fastball by Reinfleisch. He's got a good one.
He's overpowered Nino when it comes in the strike zone. He's had 2 heavy swings and both missing the barrel.
Advantage goes to Chicago, however, with a 3-2 count. The runners will be on the move. Pitch rides up high for ball 4. And that loads the bases for Vinny Marvuchik.
Can't afford to give up another one here. The way the offense has been working.
Just checking my scorecard. I think Chicago has only left 3 runners on base in the ball game.
They really haven't had a ton of runners on base.
No. 2, 3 so far. Bill says 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're right, Bill. 4 left on. To Sheboygan's 11. It's just a little bit off the plate. Count stands at 1-1. Vinny is 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Ball is popped up down the left field side. It is going to go foul. Stays in play, doesn't go over the fence. Actually, you know what it does? It stays in the field of play. Foul ball.
In play, because it ain't fair. Big pitch here coming for Brad. Get out of this, it'd be huge.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Another ball hit foul. This one is over the fence out of play. Is it 1 and 2, Bill? Okay. I could see when home plate umpire signaled, I could see his right hand put up 2 fingers, but I couldn't see the left. Swing and a miss. And that ends the 7th for Chicago. For Sheboygan, they'll need to get a couple of runs, maybe 3 to win it.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
We missed the change in the last time Sheboygan was at bat. Austin Schnurr entered the game for Chicago. If the score stays the way it is, Gavin Addison would still get credit for the win, and Schnurr would get the save. But Austin Schnurr will be pitching in the 7th inning, as he did in the 6th.
Right where you want to be in this A's order, need a couple runs. Harry's definitely the guy that can get you a leadoff batter on.
Harry looking to start the rally. That'll hopefully win the ball game. Breaking pitch is in for a strike.
Then it's Tenney. Then Wytech. 29.
Count is 1-1 to Harry. He's 0 for 2 in the game with a walk. Sheboygan down 2, looking to rally and win this one. And, Lucas made a good observation. I think we were at the break, but for a 2-0 game, it's over 2 hours.
A lot of big innings for the A's that haven't really gone for anything.
Harry, not a good swing there. 2-2. Schnurr, a big left-hander. Goes to Illinois Tech. Bouncing ball right back to Schnurr, and he makes the easy play at first. Schnurr, one of the older guys on the team. He's a junior. Sawyer Kolakowski, we had mentioned, stayed in the game, playing third base. He'll get his first at bat. Sawyer attends Southeastern Community College.
His debut last year with the A's, didn't see a whole ton of playing time, but definitely a lot more this year so far.
Ball is fouled straight back. Sawyer looking for his first hit of the year. 0 for 4. Good athlete. Hard hit ball over to short. Nice easy play. Good scoop made on the other end. 6-3 put out. 2 outs for Sheboygan. Last chance is up. Last chance is Nick Tenney. Nick 2 for 3. Trying to keep it alive. If Sheboygan can't come back and win this game, it's going to be 3 losses in a row to Chicago.
That's the only 3 in history.
Really? There's pitch to Tenney is out of the strike zone. Ty Wytek waiting on deck. If Sheboygan can't come back and win this game, their record will sit at 3-2 on the year. And we're not used to seeing the A's get shut out. It's not like they haven't gotten runners on base. They've left 11 of them.
They've gotten a guy on every inning, like you said before, so kind of fitting if they don't get anyone on this.
Ball hit out to right field. And that's the ball game. Sheboygan drops the first game of this doubleheader by a score of 2-0. The winning pitcher is Gavin Addison. Picking up the save was Austin Schnurr. And picking up the loss without giving up an earned run was Eric Schmitz. We're going to take about a 25-minute break, and then we'll be back for Game 2. Final today in Game 1, Chicago 2, Sheboygan nothing.